Ariel Sharon instructed the IDF to embark on the defensive shield operation. IDF has fulfilled the order after a long term of terror attacks against Israelis. It embarked on a difficult battle that took the lives of dozens of soldiers whose memory we cherish in our hearts forever. In Defensive Shield, we, for the first time since the Oslo Agreements, have entered the Palestinian territories of A and B and took control of Palestinian cities that have become hubs of Palestinian terror. The IDF has targeted the heads of the terrorists and returned safety to the streets of Israel. From home to home, through the wall, the window, or the roof, the IDF, headed by the Chief of Staff Shaul Mofaz, has determined the goal and fulfilled it. It happened, first of all, thanks to the people, headed by the fighters who courageously brought the calm back to Israel. Also, the Chief of Staff, Aviv Kochavi, who headed a brigade at that time, and other commanders. The heroism of those commanders are the basis of our safety. Chief of Staff Shaul Mofaz, who led the operation, wrote to soldiers, "We cannot make peace with terror and violence. We have no other choice but to fulfill the basic obligation of every country to its people to secure their right to live in safety and peace." This duty was right back then, and it is right today as well. After two serious attacks that took the lives of Israeli civilians, and I wish to share the grief of the families, we operate in a targeted manner to prevent terror attacks against Israeli civilians. We beef up our forces. 1,010 bullets carried by the terrorists yesterday are 1,010 reminders of our constant need to stand to our guard and to remind ourselves that the security is continuing at all times. Thanks to the border police officers who strived for contact, we will not be quiet. We will ensure calm. We will bring soldiers and policemen to find anyone who was involved or incited for the attacks. No one is safe. Everyone is on our target, everywhere that they are. Just like in Defensive Shield, the Islamists of Daesh, we present against them a Zionist ideology of social and moral strength. We will bring security and force the sense of security to the streets of Israel. Whoever looks to break us, the Israeli society will break and fail himself. He will find out that we don't have just a defensive shield, we have a shield of iron that will win not just by force, but by spirit. In the letter I quoted from IDF Chief Shaul Mofaz, we noted that we will operate while maintaining the IDF spirit. This is how we will operate today as well, responsibly, respectively, for every law-abiding citizen. But now, when the blood is boiling, we will remember and remind that most of the Arab Israelis and Palestinians are also suffering from these terrorists. They named the Operation Defensive Shield, but it proved that shields are not always enough. Its success comes from the understanding that defensive success is not just from defensive forces, but also from offensive forces. On the ground, the war in Ukraine is an example that ground operation is not a chapter of history. Reality proves that the State of Israel must hold on to various capabilities, both with rockets, and fighting beyond enemy lines. And with that, to thwart terror operatives and always be prepared for the next war, which we don't know where and when will it come. The State of Israel is preparing for wars against the armies of terror. They have means of armies and guerrilla, a dangerous combination that requires us to have a variety of abilities that we are building. People of Israel, and dear distinguished guests, with 20 years to the operation of Defensive Shield, we will remember those who have fallen. We will cherish the bravery of the soldiers and the commanders. And we'll remember the strategic lessons. Today, we will continue to build and maintain the security of the State of Israel. Thank you very much.